Hi there, my name is Alex Schremeyer, and I am an Amazon Connect Specialist Solutions Architect. In this video, I'm going to show you how to onboard to Amazon Connect Global Resiliency using the AWS CLI. Deploying Amazon Connect across multiple regions can provide your organization with benefits, including increased availability and adhering to compliance requirements, with geographic telephony redundancy offering a flexible solution to distribute inbound traffic across linked instances in separate AWS regions. Deploying functionality into multiple regions will incur operational and financial impacts. Compared to Amazon Connect's existing single region architecture, some organizations may not need the additional benefits. It is important to evaluate and understand what the reasons are for considering a multi-region Amazon Connect deployment over a single region multi-availability zone deployment. We encourage engaging your AWS account team to discuss the best option that meets your needs. Telephony distribution provides you a flexible mechanism to failover or redistribute traffic in a matter of minutes, in increments of 10%, in the event of a full or a partial outage, and during testing scenarios. For example, you can distribute traffic 100% in US East 1 and 0% in US West 2, or 50% in each region. Let me show you what this looks like. To start, I have 100% of my traffic being distributed to US East 1. If I make an inbound call, you can see it shows up in the real-time metrics of this instance.
This call was routed to the US East region. Please stay on the line to be routed to a queue.
Now, when I change the traffic distribution to send all contacts to US West 2 and make a new inbound call, we can see the call to the same phone number appears in the real-time metrics of the US West 2 instance.
This call was routed to the US West region. Please stay on the line to be routed to a queue.
In this video, we'll walk through the onboarding experience that allows customers to configure, manage, and fail over their traffic across AWS regions. We'll take a look at how to self-serve the claiming and management of phone numbers that can be used across multiple linked instances and associating them with the traffic distribution groups, allowing for failover or redistribution of telephony traffic across those regions. To start, we're going to need an existing SAML-enabled Amazon Connect instance. You'll also want to make sure you have worked with your Amazon Connect Solutions Architect or AWS account team to be allow listed for Amazon Connect Global Resiliency and are onboarding in a supported region. You will also want to make sure you have the appropriate permissions to create a replica instance and configure traffic distribution groups. You can find the list of supported regions and required permissions in the Amazon Connect Administration Guide. Now that we have covered the prerequisites, I will begin the onboarding. For this demonstration, my existing Amazon Connect instance is in US West 2. As such, I will be running the onboarding APIs from this region. I will be using Cloud Shell for this process, but you could use the AWS CLI in your preferred environment. The first command I'm going to issue is a replicate instance. This command requires the source instance ID, that is, the Amazon Connect instance ID of the existing instance that we want to enable for Amazon Connect Global Resiliency. It also requires the replica region, which is the destination region that you will be creating the replica instance in this case, US East 1. You also need to provide the replica alias, which is the common name that will allow you to identify this instance in the AWS console. Make sure to create an alias that is meaningful to you. You can't change this once it's created. In my example, I am including the fact that it will be my East instance. The response you receive will be the new Amazon Connect replica instance details. Note that they will have the same resource ID and that most of the ARN will match with the exception of the region identifier. This process will take a few minutes while the replica instance is being created. You could run the describe instance API out of the replica region to check the status of the instance creation, or you can just wait until it has completed. The next command we will issue will be to create our first traffic distribution group. Traffic distribution groups, or TDGs, are logical buckets that you can associate phone numbers to. When you have phone numbers associated to a TDG, you can distribute the traffic in 10% intervals. This means you can have 100% of your traffic in your source region and then move all traffic over to your replica region, or even split traffic between the two. We'll go through the process of creating a TDG, associating a phone number, testing failover, all in this video. The TDG creation requires a name, so make it something meaningful, and the instance ID. Remember, both your source and replica instances now share the same instance ID. If you happen to attempt to create the TDG before your replica instance is created, you'll be presented with an error like you see on the screen. That's fine. Just wait a bit longer and try again. Remember, you can always check the status of the replica instance creation if you need to. Once the replica instance is ready, we will try to create the TDG using the create traffic distribution group command. If it completes successfully, the output will contain the TDG ARN and TDG ID. Note these down, as you will need them later. Next, we're going to check the status of the TDG creation using the describe traffic distribution group command. This will provide a status and is useful for knowing when we can proceed with the next steps. It requires the TDG ID that was provided in the previous step. An important thing to note is that all create APIs need to be run from the source region where your existing Amazon Connect instance is. For me, that's US West 2. Once you've created your replica instance and your traffic distribution groups, you can fail over traffic from either linked region. We're going to continue to do our configuration out of US West 2 now that the TDG has been successfully created and is in the active state. The next command we want to issue is get traffic distribution. When you provide the TDG ID, it will output the current distribution. By default, 100% of traffic will be routing to the source region, and no traffic will be routing to the replica region. We will change that here in a bit once we add numbers to the TDG. In this environment, I have an existing number associated with my source Amazon Connect instance. I've already noted the phone number ID and will use that as part of the update phone number command. I will also use the TDG ARN that we noted earlier as the new target for this phone number. If you wanted to programmatically claim a new phone number directly to a TDG, you can do that too. To show this, I will search for a new phone number and include the TDG ARN. This ensures that I am only seeing numbers that can be claimed to the TDG. Let's select one of the phone numbers that are provided and use that in the claim phone number command. Note, we're using the TDG ARN again as we're claiming this number directly to the traffic distribution group. If you encounter an error, the number may be no longer available. If that's the case, try again with another phone number. Now that I have two phone numbers associated with my traffic distribution group, I'm going to update the traffic distribution and send all of my traffic to my replica region. When issuing this command, you'll want to include the TDG ID that you want to change and the appropriate distribution for each region. Note that you can move traffic in 10% increments, and the total across both regions has to equal 100. Right now, I will move all of the traffic to US East 1, which is my new replica region. Something else to note is changes to the TDG will only affect new inbound contacts. It will not affect currently connected contacts in either region. Once issuing the update traffic distribution command, you can run get traffic distribution to confirm the new routing. Here, we can see that 100% of my traffic is now routing to US East 1 as intended. From a process perspective, that's it. We've done it. We have successfully created a replica instance, created a traffic distribution group, associated phone numbers to the TDG, and change the distribution to point traffic to the replica instance. Now, we can test that calls are routing where we expect them to. To do that, I'm going to log into my Amazon Connect instance. First, I will log into the replica instance that was created in US East 1, since that's where my traffic is currently routing. You'll want to ensure that the phone numbers that you are testing are associated to the appropriate contact flows you want to use for testing. I am doing this in the UI, but you could also perform this with the associate phone number contact flow command. Once the phone numbers are associated to the appropriate contact flows in the replica region, ensure you do the same for any new numbers you may have claimed in the source region as well. Now that I know that my phone numbers are configured appropriately in both regions, I will open up the real-time metrics in the replica region and navigate to queues. In this test, I expect the call to route to the basic queue based on the contact flow configuration. If you are using a different contact flow, you may expect the call to route differently. I will place a test call into my phone number, and once I perform the required flow actions, I will be placed in queue. And there it is. My phone call has successfully routed to my replica instance, based on my TDG distribution. Let's update the TDG and see if we can get a call to the same phone number to route to the source instance. We will run the update traffic distribution command, swapping where the traffic is routing to. We can now run get traffic distribution to confirm the current routing prior to making the test call. Now, I will place a test call to the same number, interact with the flow as needed, and there we go. The call is now showing up in the queue in my source Amazon Connect instance that is in US West 2. That's it. I hope that by following this walkthrough, you are able to better understand some of the components required to onboard to Amazon Connect Global Resiliency and distribute traffic across AWS regions. Note that although the replica instance has been created, you will still need to perform the necessary configuration based on what your multi-region strategy is. Ensure that you configure your SAML environment to connect to the new replica instance and populate the replica instance with the necessary users and configuration based on your business needs. You can find best practices for operating Amazon Connect Global Resiliency in the associated workshop. And if you need to dive deeper, refer to the relevant documentation or reach out to your Amazon Connect Solutions Architect or AWS account team. That's all for this video. My name is Alex Schremeyer. Happy building.